You remember probably the name Phil Bickford. He was the 10th pick overall in the 2013 draft by the Blue Jays. Now, depending on who you believe or who you talk to, the thinking is that he turned down something in the neighborhood of $2.2 million from the Blue Jays in order to go to Cal State Fullerton. And lo and behold, he has a terrific season in the Cape Cod League, terrific summer in the Cape Cod League. He has now apparently decided to leave Cal State Fullerton. And the thinking now is he'll definitely go into the draft next year. But the thinking is he will either go to independent baseball or go to Cypress Community College, a junior college where he would be reunited with Scott Parker, who was his coach this year in Cape Cod. He's 20 years old in July. He was dominant in the Cape Cod League. And I know when the Jays drafted him at the time, it was a risky pick because most people thought that he was going to end up going to Cal State Fullerton. We're going to be joined by Aaron Fitt of Baseball America in just a second. But, Aaron's there already? Great. Aaron, come on in. How are you, Aaron?
Hey, guys. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You're on with Jeff Blair and Joe Siddall. How much of a surprise is this?
Well, it's very surprising. You seldom see a marquee guy who chooses the college route to transfer or leave his program after a freshman year. It's almost surprising it doesn't happen more often because there are plenty of players that, have a great freshman year and maybe could have a chance to maximize their draft stock by being eligible a year earlier, but it just does not usually happen. And even when we've heard rumors of it happening in the past, it seems like it doesn't usually wind up working, and the player just decides to stay where he is. And a lot of times these players make a commitment to their teams, and that's one thing about this story that does not reflect well on Bickford is, he didn't tell his coach about this decision to leave until this past weekend. And class starts today. So this guy's on a full scholarship, and they can't give his money to get a new player to replace him. They're basically stuck eating his scholarship. So really, he didn't do a very good job being considerate of his teammates. Well,
and this people should know too. Cal State Fullerton. This is one of the the Rolls Royces of college baseball programs, isn't it? They in fact would have been a favorite for to be a College World Series contender this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a storied program. They won 4 national championships, and they've got a really good pitching staff coming back and an elite staff. I think they really had a chance to win a national championship, and you would want that to be something that I think is important to a player. We want guys that want to win, right? So the fact that he's willing to walk away from that, especially 3 days before the season starts, or before the school starts, I should say. I don't know. I think you have to question his competitiveness a little bit.
Aaron, would you consider this almost a flaw in the system? It seems very unfair on a lot of counts.
Yeah, it is, and I wonder if this works out for Bickford, if we'll see more players try to do this, because the way that the rules work is once you set foot on a Division I campus, of course, you're not draft eligible again for 3 years, and you can't transfer freely to another Division I school without having to sit out a year. So most of the time we don't see a lot of player movement. But the exception is there's not a lot of rules in the junior college ranks. You can go play junior college ball, and you don't have to sit out a year. You can play right away, and you can be eligible for the draft that year. So there's reason to do it. But I think that the guys that do it, I just think it shows you a lot about their character. These are guys that they're in it for themselves. They want to maximize their own value. And hey, all these players have to look out for their own best interests. I don't think we can begrudge a player for doing what's best for himself, but there's a way to do it. And I don't think Bickford did it the right way.
Aaron Fitt of Baseball America joins us on Baseball Central. Did we ever figure out what happened with Bickford and the Blue Jays? It was going to be a bit of a gamble to begin with, wasn't it? But was there some concern about the medicals, or how did this thing break down?
That the details about that are still pretty murky, and we've heard some talk, some speculation from people around the situation that maybe the Blue Jays were concerned about the medical, but we really don't know. I mean, surprisingly, that's one of those things that they've done a pretty good job keeping a lid on. It seems like the Astros situation this year with their number one pick, Brady Aiken, everybody knows all the details. He had his concerns about the elbow, and there's the irregularities. We knew all this stuff. The Blue Jays, to their credit, I think, did not spill the beans here to the media, which very seldom do we see that happen. I don't know. But I know that Bickford came back and pitched and was healthy all year, and he was sitting 93, 95 on the Cape this summer and touched some 97s, I heard. His arm works. He's not hurt. So maybe the Blue Jays were concerned about something, but whether that concern was justified, I have no idea.
Aaron, can you let our listeners know what's the process there with the team about to sign a first-round pick? Can an agreement be made? Can it be made verbally before the selection?
That's discouraged, but it happens all the time. Technically, it's against the rules. If you agree with a team before the draft, you're breaking Major League Baseball rules. But it's one of those things that's ignored by everybody, especially with the draft system the way it is now, where you really have to know if a player's going to sign before you risk a pick on him, because if one of your top 10 round picks does not sign, you lose the ability to spend the money that was allotted to his pick. It just comes out of your pool. You can't spend it on another player. So these teams have to have certainty when they draft a guy, which is why the vast majority of players in the top 10 round do sign, is because there's already been really an agreement before the draft has even happened.
Aaron, if Phil Bickford decides to go the independent ball route compared to the junior college, and I'd like your take on where you think he goes, or whether he goes JC or goes independent ball. Do you have any idea what league he would end up in?
Well, I think he's going to take the junior college route, and that's to be determined.
Do you think it'd be with Scott Pickler, the guy who coached him in the Cape League?
That's certainly possible. I've heard some people out west talk about that rumor, and it makes sense. Scott Pickler is very well respected, and Cypress Junior College has a good history. But I don't know. There's other places he could go. He might want to stay a little bit closer to home and go to Oxnard Junior College, which is a little bit north of L.A., close to where he grew up. Or he might go out of state. I've heard people say that too. So really, we don't know yet. But my gut says he'll probably take the junior college route.